Hello, I'm Dave Karger. Thanks for joining me here on TCM as we celebrate the 4th of July and America's 250th birthday. It's time for this week's edition of Musical Matinee, but today we have more than just one musical in our lineup. We're celebrating with a whole afternoon of musicals, all of them with a patriotic theme. Up first is an adaptation of a successful Broadway musical about the signing of the Declaration of Independence. From 1972, it's 1776. Set in Philadelphia during the spring and summer of that historic year, this is a fictionalized version of the debates in the Continental Congress that led to America declaring independence from Great Britain. The musical was written by Peter Stone, whose father had been a history teacher before becoming a screenwriter and producer, and the score was composed by Sherman Edwards, who was also a former high school history teacher. Edwards and Stone did their research and tried to represent the events and characters as accurately as possible. 1776 opened on Broadway in 1969 and ran for 3 years, earning 5 Tony Award nominations and winning 3, including for Best Musical. The show closed 9 months before the movie hit theaters, and many of the actors in the film reprised their roles from the stage, including William Daniels as John Adams, Howard Da Silva as Benjamin Franklin, and Ken Howard as Thomas Jefferson. Peter Stone also returned to adapt the musical for the big screen, and he was joined by Peter Hunt, who directed the Broadway version, along with the original choreographer and costume designer. From 1972, also with Donald Madden, John Cullum, and Blythe Danner, here is 1776. "1776 premiered on Broadway in 1969, 46 years before Lin-Manuel Miranda gave us another musical about the Founding Fathers, Hamilton. Like Hamilton, 1776 won the Tony Award for Best Musical, and it also took home Tonys for director Peter Hunt and actor Ron Holgate, who played Richard Henry Lee on stage and in the film. But when the movie version premiered in 1972, it wasn't nearly as successful as the show had been. The reviews were mixed, and some critics felt the film was too old-fashioned. Movie musicals weren't as popular as they once had been, and the musicals that did do well had a very different style and tone. 1972 was also the year of Bob Fosse's adaptation of Cabaret. Fosse's film was edgy, dark, and sexy, a far cry from 1776, and it swept the Academy Awards, earning 10 nominations and winning 8, including for Best Director, Cinematography, and for Liza Minnelli as Best Actress and Joel Grey as Best Supporting Actor. But in the years since, 1776 has found many devoted fans, and the musical continues to do well on stage. It was revived on Broadway in 1997, where it once again earned several Tony nominations, and there was another revival in 2022 featuring an all-female, transgender, and non-binary cast. Up next, James Cagney gives an Oscar-winning performance in another patriotic musical about the life of songwriter George M. Cohan.
Next on TCM, Yankee Doodle Dandy, then The Music Man, and later, Born Free. Diane Warren walks on the wild side today.